Hey guys, Cody Sharp here, Sharp Guys Web Design. But today I'm going to be talking about AI again. And today I think I want to focus on what it can't do very well and what it has issues with. Because I think this is important as marketers. We're always trying to find little areas that we can belong in and little areas that we can function maybe above the rest. At least that's what I'm always trying to focus on is like, all right, how can we set ourselves apart as marketers? Well, one way that we can set ourselves apart is by being able to solve logical word problems. It sounds simple, but here, let me give you an example. So I coach a baseball team, and all I had asked, what I do is I ask the boys is when it comes to All-Star time, there's an All-Star game, and I ask them to vote, rank choice vote, basically their top three kids for the All-Star team. And I say that the first vote is worth 3 points, the second vote is worth 2 points, and the third vote is worth 1 point. One reason I do this is because I really think that there's a benefit for ranked choice voting, and I want them to know about that existing in the world. Secondly, I do it because I think it's a fair way, because I always tell people the main thing is always vote for yourself first. And just like any politician would, just like anyone that wants anything, right? So vote for yourself first and then vote for whoever else that you'd like to. And so it works really well. And so I had a whole list of all the boys, and it's easy for me to keep track of who has 3 points because they always vote for themselves first. So I can just look at the list and then come up with the number of votes that they had. And I thought, this will be a simple thing for the AI bots of the world. I'll throw it on Bing at first, and I said, hey, take a look at this list. It's just 3 names, space, 3 names, space, 3 names, space, etc. Right? Any third or fourth grader can do this task very easily. The first name is worth 3, the second name is worth 2, the next name is worth 1. These are the same boys. Just look at the different breaks and then count them all up and put them in a table. No. I'm very certain that I'm happy to help you with that, and it'll come back up and it gives me all the answers, and they're just not right. There's some that have too many, there's some that have not enough, and I went back and I said, how did you come up with these numbers? Like you would some kind of student. And I said, because this number is wrong, the number for whatever, John or whatever. This number is wrong. And they were like, oh, my apologies. That is wrong. And then it was like, here's the new number. And again, just totally fabricated. So there's something there. There's some kind of issue there with like logic that's using math, but very slight amounts of math, but also using maybe it's the spacing. But those are the types of things that you can think about, other things that are similar. This is something that AI is not going to be good at. Now, we could say it'll get improved. It'll improve. That's true. It's possible that it could improve. One thing that Sam Altman has said here recently, though, and I tried ChatGPT and same thing. Now, I also may try Google Bard and see if it has any better luck with it, just for fun. But one thing that Sam Altman said is that when we made the step forward between OpenAI's ChatGPT 3 and 3.5, it was a massive improvement, But when we made that next step, 3.5 to 4, it was a smaller improvement. And he said the next step we make will be even a smaller improvement from that. And in a lot of ways, this is how technology in general works. The reason is that because of the way that the foundation for the technology is set up, you get incremental gains. And when you are building a better battery, for example, most better batteries are only a little bit better because they all run on the same foundation. At least they had historically. And so what you really need is an entire new technology in order for you to make that huge gain. And they found that actually when they were doing OpenAI, it was actually a technology or an idea that Google had developed and made open source years earlier. And they developed it using that AI tool, and that allowed for them to make that huge gain with ChatGPT. So what I would say is that those are the types of things that are simple and I thought would be able to be done by an AI at this point and no problem at all. Math is never going to be the forte of a language model like this. That's true. But we're talking about very basic math. And the truth of the matter is that when you give it more complex math, a lot of times it does the right answer for you. So you can't just rely on it. If I would have not even looked at the answer, I may have ended up like the lawyers who had turned in their lawsuit against, I think it was an airline company, and they turned it in March. People told them, hey, these cases don't exist. You are referencing cases that don't exist. You are referencing airlines that don't even exist. But they, it turns out, had used ChatGPT, and it had come up with some made up stuff that it said was accurate, and it made it a more compelling argument, so it made it. Now, all of that being said, I've also been using ChatGPT here recently for using the Browse the Web add-on, which is a new add-on for the ChatGPT Plus members that you can do. It's only in beta mode. It's kind of slow, but it actually allows for me to find reference links to a lot of the things it says. All you have to do is just make sure you ask it for those reference links, and it will provide those. And so the more of that you do when you do any kind of type of research-based stuff, that's what I would recommend. So anyway, just something to keep in mind as you go on your AI journey out there. So thanks. Have a great weekend.